Hello, and welcome back to the Have We Made It Yet podcast. It's the podcast where two creatives just starting their journey towards making it
Mhm.
talk about the ups and downs of making it. And I am one of those poor souls. I'm the comedian Josh Yang.
And I am hopefully one day the knighted actor Lucas Ing.
Whoa, the knighted. That's only a
Yeah.
few are knighted. None are Asian from what I know, but that's
So
that's quite a lofty goal.
it's
Yeah,
a
I wouldn't
goal.
mind. You know what? It is a goal. I wouldn't mind getting the Order of Canada, to be honest.
True,
That
true.
would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Mhm.
Um, but that's besides the point. I'm not saying making it is going to be getting the Order of Canada, but yes, welcome to the podcast. And
Uh-huh.
off the top of our podcast, we ask each other the question: Have you made it yet? So, Lucas, my friend, Sir Lucas, have you made it yet?
Not yet. And some kind of exciting news though. I mean, it's not like I booked a partner or anything like that yet, but well, as in this year. But it's I signed with a new agency the past 2 days. So I feel excited to work with this new agent, and it should be fun going into 2021 because I need my big rebound year for 2021, as I'm sure
Yeah,
many other talented people would want that.
we definitely all need a rebound year. Once everybody gets vaccinated,
Yeah.
then we'll be able to do other stuff. How hard was it? How hard would you say is it like the switch
Um,
agencies?
and I know I'm saying this from like maybe a point of privilege because I know like some people who have like worked or tried for years to look for an agent, but they just don't get it. But like I was just on a spree in 1 week, and then I got about a
Mm.
few interviews right after, and then I actually got to choose which agencies I want to work with. So that felt like a kind of a pat on my back to show that, hey Lucas, you're not shit, you're okay. um,
Yeah.
Anyways, though, Josh, have you made it
Mm.
yet?
I have not made it yet, and you know what? It's a little further because like I've been having mic issues, and now I'm on my phone, so I'm a little further back from making it because I rely on this voice, and if voice is not if it's not coming through in the nicer mic, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. But either way, apart from that, I haven't made it yet. But there's a joke of the week that I've been trying, and I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I know you.
Yeah.
I know that's what you guys are looking forward to. Um, so what it is okay. Let me premise this idea. So everybody knows about dad jokes. It's kind of like those jokes that are supposed to be lame. They're usually like wordplay, honey, and stuff like that. So it's like oh, I flew in from Vancouver this morning. Boy, are my arms tired? That kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's a lame dad joke. Started thinking, is like, what about I want to write those type of jokes, but how do you make those fresh? So I'm thinking of something like kind of the same idea, but they're more stern and serious, like a father. So like father jokes. So here's just one that a little bit simple, quick one. So it's like, what is a father's answer to global warming? Uh, a
What?
father would say, like all kids, Jesus touched the thermostat, so God needs to turn it down now. Because how fathers are like, oh, the thermostat, and then it's like God and the Son and the anyways. So basically, it's just those type of things. It's equally kind of lame, I'm assuming, but it's a little bit more serious.
Right, right, right.
It's an idea. It's a
It,
premise.
it's yes.
I'll elaborate on it.
Dad jokes versus father jokes. I mean that is
Yeah,
something.
father jokes. I mean, maybe it's something. Then they could go grandfather jokes. Is like, no, I don't know any of those. But okay, so that's it.
All right.
Let's move on.
Hey Josh, it looks like we have a
Yes,
third
Lucas.
pat. It looks like we have a third panel today.
We do have a third panel, and I will tell you guys a little bit about our guest today. This guest, actually, I met in back in 2017, back at my job at TD. as a bank teller, and she came onto the job as well during that year. I was working there for about 7 months, and she also started working there around that time. Then we were pretty much started off as co-workers, and then over time it was pretty nice. We had a little group of TD bank tellers that we would like hang out outside of work. And at first, like I wasn't, I guess, too close with this guest. But then on one night when we were all out, like everybody, with drinking and eating, everybody loosens up. We started learning more about each other. And one night that we did that, I learned something that blew my mind. It turned out that this guest was actually on the Mongolian version of kind of like American Idol. It's kind of like Mongolian Idol back in 2010. Nice. And that really blew my mind. And then she showed us kind of the music video that she made as a result of that competition. And that blew my mind even more. Because, I mean, you'd be surprised. So many people, like we've said a lot on this podcast, like so many people who you know throughout your life may have these secret talents, may have these amazing experiences that like you would never necessarily know. And it's like worth getting to know the people you know more. So that's how I kind of learned about that. And then, then I moved to Toronto, and I got reminded of her talent and her experience, and the fact that she's also thinking of putting out, well, she has put out some new music, and now she's working with collaborations to put out even more music. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the singer, Anu. Woo! There we go.
Hello. I'm just going to adjust that. Hi.
Hi. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. And that was amazing going back to 2017. And, like thinking of, it was really fun having that little group there. And especially when you left, we missed you so much. So, and then you came to visit. I remember that. It was good.
Yeah, I tried to come visit like maybe a year or so later after like I kind of got settled in Toronto just to see how everybody was, and that was fun. That was nice. But yeah, Anu, very important question. We always ask this off the top. Have you made it yet?
I'm going to say yes and no, because yes, on a very smaller scale, and that's in a different country in Mongolia. And no, because I'm now in a different continent, right? North America, and it's a totally different world out here. And I have to almost like start over again, and then make a bit more like different music, I guess. And it's going to be more in like English, but I'm still going to have that Mongolian element in all of my music. So that's where I'm like starting since 2 years ago, I guess.
Nice. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Because the thing with I guess the Mongolian Idol experience is kind of like, I guess people in North America were all familiar with the American Idol, the setup, the structure, and how like it's gone kind of internationalized. So a lot of countries like taking that structure and like giving opportunities within their own country. So in your experience, like, do you remember like how it got started? Did you do kind of like, I guess, local talent competitions, work your way through up to the main competition, the top 25 of, I believe it was called like Universe Best Songs 2010. I mean, it's an English translation, but I mean, it's pretty much like Mongolian Idol. But like, how do you remember starting that journey through that competition?
Yeah, well, it's not exactly a Mongolian Idol. It's like an equivalent to that, because and the name is exactly called Universe Best Songs. We had that English name, and the reason for that was because you can sing in any language you wanted. So I really wanted to go into the competition. My mom actually pushed me into it. She was not keen when it first started. I wanted to join the first year in 2009, but she was like, "Why do you want to be in this like whole music business, right?" And then the next year she was like, well, maybe you could do well, like try it out. So I did, and it was a really good experience. And that's where I think my whole like, I should get into this like music industry thing started. And yeah, it was really fun. It gave me a lot of motivation to like, keep going, keep singing and making more music.
Yeah, that's awesome. I realize, like, of course your major formative years were back in Mongolia. You studied at the national university there and everything. How has your experience in Mongolia informed your work as a singer? Like, what influences from Mongolia do you take into your art?
Yeah, so actually, when I was a kid, when I was, I think 7, our whole family moved to London, UK. So I have a lot of influences from like the Western, culture. So I have that. And then when when I moved back to Mongolia, of course, I listen to like more Mongolian singers. So it's very international, like what I do, I think, right? And then now I make a lot of Latin influenced music as well, where I sing in English or Mongolian or both. So it's very mixed, very like culturally mixed, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was also my next
Yeah.
question too. Like, have you, of course, you talk about like using Mongolian as the language with your music too, but
Mm-hmm.
what are some examples that you've blended Mongolian and North American influences into one song?
Like an example?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's all because of, like me loving this whole like salsa, bachata, and kizomba dancing. That's when I first came to Canada. I found out about it, about those dances. And then I went to a lot of like social dances, took the courses. It was so fun. It like affects you so like deeply, right? That's why I decided to like, hey, I should do like I can sing um, like kizomba or like bachata songs. And also there's like these dance communities everywhere. And in Mongolia, it's a fairly new thing, a new community. So I wanted to help them and encourage them and make them, like spread the word through my through my songs. So yeah, I still try to make more kizomba songs for that reason. And my first kizomba song is that When We Dance Kizomba.
Right, right.
So that's in English. And the next one is Addicted, and that's a Mongolian song. Yeah. And I'm working on more right now as well. Yeah.
That's great because like both Lucas and I kind of listened to it, and we did get a sense of like you can kind of hear a vibe because your voice is very strong, and it's like got a much more sultry kind of like a deeper tone to it. Which I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too sure I initially expected that when based upon like how I knew you before. I guess probably during like working at TD, like I kind of saw you maybe a little quieter than usual. But then when I saw that's why it kind of blew my mind because that was like a lot of passion and like kind of emotion out there, which kind of I guess shocked me a little bit, which I think is nice. Which is nice that like if you're able to really show people something brand new and stuff like that. I'm wondering like is that kind of voice something that um, you discovered through other influences, or do you feel like that's just something you just developed yourself?
Yeah, I do get that a lot because like my speaking voice and my singing voice are very different, right? And when I start singing, I feel like I don't know, it feels different. It starts from like the bottom of your like belly area, I guess, with a lot of singers or even actors, right? That's where you get your most energy from. And I think like this like soul kind of energy comes from there. I don't know when I start singing. Um, yeah, and then since I was a kid, I was like any other like uh, Western kid, I guess, where you listen to like Britney Spears, Shakira, Celine Dion because of my mom. It's her favorite singer. You know, and then a lot of like soul as well. Like Joss Stone is one of my favorite singers. Uh, yeah.
That's awesome, because I actually had Shakira in my notes when I was researching you, because I heard that like powerful, soulful voice that you had. And I was like, that sounds like Shakira a bit there. You did list off some of your influences
Yeah.
and some of your inspiration, but would you mainly say you mainly want to focus on dance and pop music as opposed to say like other styles of music?
Well, I got into this kizomba music just because of my love for the dance, right? Otherwise, I really want to continue singing like more pop as well, but like Mongolian inspired, like with Mongolian instruments, for example. Yeah,
Right, right.
Yeah, that would be really cool
yeah.
to see more of those, because now I think now is a great
Hmm.
time for international music. So many, well,
Hmm.
international music in Western societies, like international music is always there, you know. But
Yeah,
like with Latin music getting much popular the last few years, K-pop as well, so many different varieties out there. What would you say is like a definitive quality of like Mongolian music, or like of a Mongolian style that you think is unique to them?
yeah. You can hear a lot of like instruments from other Asian cultures as well, which are Mongolian. There are a lot of like string instruments. We have a very distinct fiddle kind of instrument, which is called the murring hor. It means a horse fiddle. It has like, yeah, two strings. You put it on your lap and play like this, and it has like a horse's head on the top. And that sounds very different from any other instrument in the world, I think. It can make actually horse sounds, which is interesting. Oh, you know about it. And then there's the throat singing, which a lot of people um, like. Yeah, and it's very interesting as well. Different, right?
It is. I mean, that's like probably one of, I would agree. That's probably one of the first things that people would initially imagine if you say like Mongolian music,
Mhm.
Mongolian singing, because that seems a very culturally on point type of technique. And like when it comes, like when you mentioned the horse head kind of fiddle, the violin, that's also something like I'm familiar with in terms of like, because Chinese, there's like variations within the north of China that they also have that kind of music throughout that region as well.
Mhm.
Definitely influenced by like the plains and the Mongol area as well. I'm wondering, like, did you ever try Mongolian throat singing?
No, it's actually more like a for guys, and not. And I heard like interesting facts about it. Like, not everyone's supposed to like start singing it because it's basically you're like connecting with spirits through the throat singing. So it's not something easy or like, yeah, that you can do. Anyone can do.
Yeah, because
Wow.
I imagine it's like
Yeah,
you gotta train your vocal cords to
yeah.
vibrate in a certain way, and it doesn't look like it's easy on the throat, I would imagine.
It's not. I mean, to be honest, I've tried. When there's no one around me, like I've tried, but it doesn't work like that. I think I need like a tutor or teacher or someone.
Yeah, I bet. How was that experience then, like following going through that competition? Because that was like something that was broadcast nationally across Mongolia, and then all of a sudden you went from like somebody who's interested in doing music, performing, to all of a sudden like everybody in Mongolia is familiar with you. How was that changing
Yeah,
your lifestyle?
yeah, that was 2010. I was in second year in college in Mongolia, and then I yeah, starting from the second round, I think that's when people started like recognizing me. Um, yeah, I remember singing like a Leona Lewis song. It was "Bleeding Love." So people like that a lot, and that's the one that they remember the most. So, and Mongolia is like a small country, right? 3 million for the population, and 1/3 lives in the capital city where I was. So it's I would say fairly easy to become popular, or not popular, well known through the competition. So that was a very interesting experience. Exactly, like I was a nobody, and then like suddenly people started like recognizing me, and then I felt like a little bit like a celebrity there, but it didn't last very long because I had to go to China as well shortly. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, was that like kind of related to music as well, or was it like family?
No, so music, I up until like recently, it was very more like a hobby for me, right? So in Mongolia, I went to school for college for international relations because my dad was a diplomat, and he influenced me. And I also like his job looked really cool, where you can like travel around the world, you know. Um, so I went to Shanghai to help on the consular section of Mongolia, and then also take some like Mandarin classes. So that was really cool.
Nice.
Nice. Cool. And then, so then I guess from that period of time up until you moved to Canada, I guess like moving to Canada, what year did you move to Canada actually?
2014. Yeah.
Okay, 2014. And like, how was that transition to like now living in Canada, now kind of like pursuing other objectives and goals, and like singing was now just, more of a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. And then so I came to Canada in 2014. I came here for school for business, um, to study business for 2 years. And then after school, I mean, during school, I joined TD Canada Trust, right? And then I've been in the bank. Now I'm going to like business school as well for my MBA. So, but like this year is a very interesting year, I guess, for everyone, right? New perspectives. You think about your whole life. You think about like, what if the world ends, whatever, like crazy stuff, and it's making you do like uh, crazy decisions. So, but it was really helpful for me because um, I've I realized I need to do what's important for me, what makes me really happy, and that's definitely music is one of them, right? So now I'm thinking like I want to do more songs, and not songs that will make me popular, or make me look cool. It's more like about what I really feel from the inside, even if not a lot of people like what I do, like kizomba. Not everyone knows it, right? But um, people, small community who does know it, and feel like the beat and like all the emotions that are in the song. Yeah, that's what's most in me.
That's awesome. I did want to touch briefly upon like your full-time job at TD right now, and also pursuing your arts. And I see on your Instagram like you have some really cool recording sessions that are planned out and that you've already done too. Um, you know, as for an actor, you need to work a pretty fluid job so that you can run off in the middle of the day to do auditions and everything like that. So you need to, work at
Mhm.
bars or work at a grocery store, all that stuff. With you working a full-time, pretty demanding job, how do you find the balance between pursuing your craft, but also pursuing your full-time job too? How do you find that balance?
That's a great question. Well, I had to take some time off from work, which happened recently because I'm doing a full-time MBA right now, even though it's from home. But I wanted to do that, give myself a bit more room where I can also focus on my music as well. Otherwise, I'm going to say it's hard to balance everything. You just get like a little bit of everything, which I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to music, right? Because once you put something out there, when you release something, it's going to be there forever. You can't change it, right? So I want to put something that I love, like, yeah. So it's important, like it requires a lot of time and energy and everything. So that's why I definitely needed more time for it.
I hear you.
Cool. And like we saw that you put out some the two songs there, like When We Dance, Kizomba, and Addicted last year, and you did a great music video that you shot like pretty much in English Bay, I'm pretty sure, in
Yeah.
Vancouver, right? Like how was that process? Because that was probably like the first time you would put out something. It seemed like very polished product, polished music video, polished sound. Like how was that period? Like how long did it take to get to that? And then also not just creating this song, but also like getting the team together to make that music video.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, for When We Dance Kizomba, it was shot at like 4 or 5 different places. So downtown Vancouver, English Bay, and a lot of places in North Van and West Van area. Yeah. So the song was actually done, I think, a year before the video came out. When you're busy, it's hard to make time, and then everything has to be perfect. I wanted to be happy with myself as well. Just everything was not like ready. So, but I couldn't wait any longer, so I wanted to just like get it done. Um, yeah. So the video happened a year later. I found this guy who makes music videos here in Vancouver, a videographer, and he was a really talented videographer. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, yeah, the end result was really good, and like I see like you're continuing to look for collaborations, like Lucas mentioned, like on your Instagram, especially recently, like you got some
Mhm.
studio sessions in there. How did you
Mhm.
meet? I believe it's Ray K. How did you meet him, or the who you're collaborating with right now?
Yeah. So this new song that's coming out, hopefully uh, before the end of this year, is a very Mongolian pop song, but that has like some English rap in it, and that's where my friend Ray K came in. So yeah, so I think we've been friends for 3 years now, and I recently found out that he was a rapper, which was cool. Um, so we decided to collaborate. I had the music from Mongolia, and since we're here in North America, why not like put some English rap into it, right? Um, yeah, and then one other song is coming out after that or before. I haven't decided yet, which is done already, which I also recently recorded. It's a Mongolian kizomba song. Yeah. So the other one is like a very pop Mongolian, and this one is a Mongolian kizomba.
Nice. Are you going to package this into like one EP, or is it just going to be different singles distributed at different times?
Yeah, they're going to be singles right now. And I'm thinking, yeah, they might become like an album later, maybe like the Kizomba one's like a Kizomba volume or, yeah.
Nice.
Nice. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, there's definitely it takes a while to get like a good piece of content out there. Like, I did a show in January of this year. I keep talking about it because it's still not out because we shot it at the end of January and it was in a nice theater and it was like professional cameras and stuff. Very fortunate to be able to do it. And it's still editing. It's still, especially with COVID and everything, delaying it and stuff like that. So like, yeah, I can definitely understand. It takes a lot of time and effort to really um, get something good out there that you can be proud of. I'm wondering as well because like there's a part of it when it comes to like creating the music from behind the scenes in terms of like say performing on stage. Have you done any like open mics or any kind of live performances in Vancouver like before COVID shut things?
Mhm. Yeah, I used to do a lot of performances in Mongolia. Was invited to a lot of events. Um, yeah, a lot of shows, like all kinds of events, right? Like weddings, or like New Year parties. But since I came here, it's a different, different place. So where I'm not known, I'm just starting to get back to performing. But yeah, exactly. With this year, we can't. Obviously, we can do like, I guess, live sessions from the studios, right? You have to be more creative, I guess. Yeah. Or like just do more music and release them. Yeah. But I have been performing at like obviously Mongolian events or like Mongolian New Year parties, for example. Yeah, I did that.
How was that? Like, I guess like there's obviously going to be a difference between like say performing in front of friends and family, and then now all of a sudden you're actually being called upon or signed to do events where it's like you got to be professional, you got to deliver per se. Like, how was that first experience? Like, what was your first event doing that?
Oh yeah, I definitely remember one of my first performances. That was way before Universe Best Songs, and I was a very shy kid, very quiet. Like nobody would say I sing. So I would get major stage fright, I remember. Um, so some of them where I would like get up on stage and forget like the whole lyrics, right? And I remember making them up as I was singing. Um, yeah, it was really bad, bad experience. But experience counts. Yeah, like every experience.
If anything, I feel like, especially for comedians, like you learn more from bad experience than you do from a good experience,
Mm-hmm.
and like you get value and like critique off of your jokes. If it fails, because then okay, that doesn't work, then you can work on what does work. And definitely like probably dealing with like forgetting lyrics on stage. It's like now you're kind of a little traumatized, and it's like I'm never gonna forget a lyric again per se. What would you say in this entire experience, going through the Mongolian singing competition and then creating music yourself? How how has that, like, what's one kind of skill that you learned from all of that that you've taken and just implemented kind of like throughout your life outside of music?
Yeah, great question. Uh, let's see. Like my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, like because
Yeah.
more so like the art eventually influences the artist as much as the artist influences the art. It's like how is singing like kind of just become changed you, let's say.
hmm Yeah, it's changed me a lot where I was able to come out of that shell, right? Like I said, I was a really shy kid, and when uh, I found through the process when I'm on stage in front of a lot of people and when I'm singing, I feel really liberated, where I can like enjoy the process so much. It's like almost like doing meditation. And also either on stage or if I'm like just using my home studio recording, like I can just do that for like hours and hours, right? Or like for the whole day, um, not getting up at all. Like that's happened before. It's like really deep, like a different whole like different feeling I can't compare to anything else. I'm like really liberated and like truly happy. Yeah.
That's the thing you got to do. That when you found your
hmm
bliss like that, you just have to keep on pursuing it because that's a beautiful thing that you found.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel like that too.
Yeah, yeah. When you're in a group of other actors and you're actually performing on stage or in front of the camera on a cool set, you realize this is where I want to be. And you keep on
Yeah.
working to make sure that you consistently get that stage time to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
How
And it's funny because,
no,
yeah, like, yeah. So when you mentioned stand-up comedy, like when we met at the bank when we were friends there, you never mentioned that to us, right? And like, I don't know, like when you have, sorry, our buzzers. uh, um, So yeah, like when you're at the bank, like you never imagine people to be like, singing or like doing like being on the stage, like doing stand-up comedy. So that was I was really excited and like happy to see doing that a couple of years ago. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. And like also to be fair, like I didn't have that wasn't an idea of mine when I was working at TV either. Like because like Vancouver scene is so small, and I assume like for music as well is just maybe not as many like kind of venues per se for music as you would in a bigger city. So like I didn't really pursue it until I came to Toronto. But I'm wondering like I mean you remember I was funny around the bank.
You were definitely. It was really fun to have you there. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. At least that came across, and so
Yeah.
that makes more sense. And so because I'm doing stand up,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
but aside from that, I do want to ask you a bit because like this kind of singing experience, especially when you were doing it younger, and you mentioned like your mom kind of talking about getting into the singing competition for with your mom. Like, how has your family helped you in terms of like being able to support you through this crazy experience? Suddenly,
Hmm.
like not only like maybe it's like your your daughter or your sister within your family. Like suddenly this person is huge within the country, and it's like they also have to be able to like either help you with that experience or like navigate that experience. How was that whole
Yeah.
thing for your family as well?
Yeah. Just FYI, I'm not huge. I would say well known, right? Like people would recognize, and that was like a long time, a decade ago, right? And then I'm slowly getting back there, you know.
I mean, hey, you've reached the point where at least more than I mean, Lucas, how many subscribers we got? Like maybe 70. At least more that you're into at least like triple digits, 4 digits, 5 digits people, which is significantly more than the two of us. So
You're getting there. Well, you guys just started, so it's good. And persistence is important, which you have, right? With all of this, it's the most important thing. I think.
yeah. Um
So yeah, 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 and yeah. To answer your question, um, my family wasn't like always that supportive with music because it's a very different environment out there in Mongolia than here, right? Like, because I don't know, like, I guess you don't get paid that well, even if you do become like, you still have to hustle even when you're up there. That's what I think. Um, and then only like a few of them make it. So it's hard. Whereas if you're here, or like you could go to like Hollywood, for example, if you're born here, right? It's a totally different thing. But like when my family, my mom, when she found out that this is what I really love to do and it makes me happy, she did in the end decided to like support me. But they're family and they're always protective of you. So when you put like like weird cover songs or like even like pictures, she's like, oh my God, don't like take that down, take that off. Like, what are people gonna think? Like even though they're like totally normal like pictures, like I think they're always gonna be protective like that.
yeah, no, I agree. It is kind of I think we talked a little bit on the previous episode as well, where it's like it's tough to show like you can show other people, strangers, like nobody really cares with strangers, kind of. But like when it comes to showing your family members or like your very close friends, like your parent or whatever parents, like those are gonna be the moments where it's like you're really like waiting for the reaction and seeing what what they're gonna react to it and like yeah, you know what? I mean, I can definitely get that sense and experience as well, like especially from like Asian families in general with something that's less stable as like
Exactly.
pursuing entertainment or like things that may not pay well when you're starting out. Absolutely, they're always just going to worry. But I think like in terms of how you've been approaching it with like as a hobby, and that now you're expanding it and seeing what other things that you can do with it. I know you've mentioned that you're also interested in really kind of helping other Mongolian women as well, like pursue other opportunities kind of similarly in that light. Can you talk more about this like Women's Alliance of Mongolia that you're interested in starting? I think it's like a nonprofit organization that you want to work into creating to help Mongolian women, right?
Yeah, and that's one of my other passions. It's a new thing for me right now, but I have like big goals, to achieve with that. It is a nonprofit organization that I've created to help and support Mongolian women, especially those who are like single mothers, because the law back there in Mongolia, it's not very supportive of those kinds of like households. So I feel like it's not fair because I've lived in these different countries, like 3 other countries now, and then when you compare, everything to like Mongolia and those like single parents, especially single mothers, I feel like this is not fair. They shouldn't be living like this, right? And my mom is one of those people, but we haven't lived there for like that long, But people who are there, I really feel like they could do better if there was like more support for them. And then my goal is to help them through like more through with their education, right? Or connect them with other like mentors, other like-minded women or people who can help support them, who are already doing well in the industry and who are like all living and working all over the world. Just connect them and help educate them. Yeah.
Wow.
Keep that
Yeah,
up.
no,
That
it's,
sounds
that sounds like definitely like a really inspiring and like noble type of like endeavor to pursue, and definitely looking forward to seeing where you'll be taking that. I'm wondering, is like, is there like some kind of website where we can find more information on that?
Yeah, so the website is um, under construction right now, but it will be up. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
awesome.
cool. Well, we're looking forward to that.
But it is called the um, Women's Alliance of Mongolia, and you can probably find the website soon on the Facebook page or website. Yeah, you can find it through my Facebook page. Yeah, most likely.
And looking forward to seeing that, as well as kind of the new music you have going on as well. We'll link a bunch of to your music from last year, and whenever that comes out, the new music comes out, we'll try to share it as well. Well, I mean, thank you, Anu, for coming on and sharing your very interesting, very unique experience. I think being able to do like a national singing competition, and then kind of being known for that, and then now you're also in a completely new market, new environment, and pursuing that as well. So it's like I get it. It's like there's the yes, and then there's the no, but we're going back to the yes type of.
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing I do want to mention is I am in all these like different fields, right? Like banking, international relations, like singing, and now like MBA business. A lot of people, I feel, well, I didn't know this before, but I thought I was like weird. Like, why can't I just choose something? Like my brother, he's been in IT like forever. So I thought I was like weird. I can't make decisions, something like that. But it's actually a good thing I found through this whole process. It's like you, both of you probably, right? You love a lot of things. You can do a lot of things well. It's, I guess, multi-talented. So it's, yeah, I used to think it was like a weakness. I feel like it's more of a strength now. So, mhm.
Well, I don't think we think of it as a weakness. It's definitely the more breadth of experience you have, the more I feel like like you can learn from different avenues, different perspectives, and then apply it to your passion or your art. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I agree that sounds like a good way to segue into our word association game at the end of our podcast. Are you ready? Are you ready for it?
Okay, can you tell me the rules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
word association game that we play at the end of our podcast is we'll ask you 10 words, or I'll ask you 10 words. Lucas will then also ask
Mhm.
you 10 words. And basically, once we say each of our words, you say the first either word or like image or idea or thought that comes to your mind right after we say it. And then it's
Mhm.
kind of just like a fun game where like you don't think too much about it and then you just react. It's like one of
Okay,
so
yeah,
we'll see how
sounds fun.
it goes. Yeah, no pressure. Just like let your mind and
Just like any word.
any word, any
Okay,
idea. It's all just to be like little fun, little insight there. So yeah,
yeah.
Lucas, do you want to start with 10 and then I'll end off?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, Anu, get to your calm space, your Zen space, and
Yeah.
we'll free flow with this. Okay. So, first word of 10. First word, voice.
Singing.
TD.
Bank.
Okay, cool. Space.
Meditation.
Oh, cool. Work.
Briefcase.
Nice. Reset.
Start.
Oh, competition.
Universe does songs.
Nice. Struggle.
That's weird. Be tired.
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally feel you. Win.
A lot of things. Um, Achievement.
Nice. Perform.
Stage.
Last one. Anu.
Huh?
Oh, Anu.
Music.
Nice.
There you go. All
Awesome.
right. Okay. So
That was fun.
my 10. So
Mhm.
get ready for my 10.
Okay.
First word. Okay. Family.
Love.
Pineapple.
Vase. Because I have one. Yeah. It's in the shape of a pineapple. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Next word. Rain.
Forest.
Alone.
Yoga.
Motivation.
Strength.
Kumquat.
Comic Con?
Kumquat.
What's that?
It's a fruit. It's a fruit. It's a fruit with a funny,
Oh,
and it's
yeah, it is funny.
yeah. It's always interesting to see how certain guests will be like like confused because it leads you down a certain thought process. Next word.
I heard Comic Con. uh, Mongolia.
Right. Tightrope.
Um, Focus.
Satisfied.
Happy.
Ending.
Life.
Ooh,
wow.
that was I felt that. I felt that last answer. Ending life. Whoa. Well, here comes to the end of our podcast. Thank you, Anu, for coming on and being our guest today.
Hey.
Thank you. It's been a long time since I've, like done this kind of thing, like an interview or whatever. Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you guys. Yeah.
Thank
Cool,
you.
cool. No, thanks for coming on. And like, what are your handles that we can share?
Sorry?
For social media, like, what are some of your handles? Where can people find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram, you can find me at anu.dav, short for Davaasuren. And same for Facebook, anu.dav.
Nice.
Cool. And I know you have like,
And YouTube. Yeah, so my YouTube is Anu Davaasuren.
and that's 2 A's in Davaasuren.
Exactly, it's a hard name. Yeah, Davaasuren. Yeah. Or you can look up one of my songs, like Addicted, Anu, or When We Dance Kizomba, Anu. You can find me that way.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll share.
And there's another song too, and you can find that out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll link to a bunch of those down in the description below. Lucas, how about you?
Everyone can find me at Lucas John Ing on Instagram and on Facebook. And Josh.
So me at Josh Yang Comedy across everything, and of course, if you're not tired of this voice, like I said before, I this voice is what is gonna make it or break it for me. You can listen to the Sleep with Josh podcast, it's another podcast where I read very dull things like laws, the dictionary.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Count sheep for like 700 sheep for an hour to help you go to sleep. There's a podcast for that. So that's Sleep with Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and great. And everybody else, please like and subscribe to the Have We Made It Yet podcast. You can find us across different social media as well, at HWMIY podcast. And, subscribe down below, like and comment. And yeah, that is the end of this great episode. Thank you again, Anu, for joining us.
Woo! Thank you. It's awesome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, great. See you all next week.